Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Samsung Ice Maker bin is completely stuck and won't pull out, don't worry. I'll show you exactly how to get it unstuck safely without damaging anything. Good news is, most of these issues you can fix yourself and save a bunch of money on service calls. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common causes of stuck ice bins, starting with simple 20-minute fixes and progressing to repairs that might take an hour or two. Here's the thing about Samsung ice makers. They're notorious for creating these ice glaciers that basically weld your bin in place. But once you know what to look for, these problems are way more manageable than you'd think. So the biggest culprit I see is frost buildup from air getting where it shouldn't be. What happens is warm, moist air sneaks into the ice compartment through unsealed seams or bad gaskets, and it creates this glacier effect that literally welds the bin to the housing. You'll know this is your problem when you see visible frost coating the bucket or there's a solid sheet of ice blocking the bin from sliding out. I had this customer last month who couldn't get her bin out for 3 weeks. Turns out there was a tiny gap in the door seal letting air in. Here's how you fix it. First, unplug your refrigerator for safety, then grab a clothes steamer and hold it about 6 inches away from the frozen areas for 15 to 20 minutes. This will safely melt the ice seal without damaging any plastic components. Never use a hairdryer or heat gun. Trust me, I've seen too many melted plastic liners from people trying that. Once it's free, seal up any gaps with food grade RTV silicone. Another common issue is when the plastic tray that twists to dump ice develops cracks. Water leaks through these hairline fractures, freezes the stored cubes into one solid block, and jams both the auger and the bin. You'll spot this problem when your ice cubes are all fused together or you've got water dripping from the dispenser. The solution here is replacing the entire ice maker assembly. There's really no patching up a cracked tray. When you pull out the old unit, inspect that tray with a flashlight to find those hairline cracks so you know for sure that was the problem. Sometimes the water valve fails to shut off completely, leading to constant dripping or overfilling that creates what I call an ice mountain at the back of the bin. You'll see this massive ice formation under the fill tube, and the fill tube itself might be completely blocked with ice. The fix is replacing that water inlet valve, but here's something most people don't check. Make sure your water pressure is between 20 and 120 psi. If it's too high, even a good valve won't close properly. When the defrost system craps out, normal frost just keeps accumulating until your bin is completely stuck. The internal defrost heater or the main control board fails to trigger the defrost cycle like it should. You'll usually see error codes like 5E, 8E, 14E, or 33E on your display when this happens. To test the heater, you'll need a multimeter set to resistance mode. Touch the probes to the heater terminals. A good heater reads between 10 and 150 ohms. If you get no reading at all or numbers way outside this range, the heater has failed and needs replacement. The good news is newer models from 2019 and later have updated boards that address a lot of these defrost issues. Sometimes the bin just isn't seated right or the auger drive hub in the back doesn't line up with the motor's drive fork. The bin will feel sprung or won't slide back that last quarter inch no matter what you do. Here's the fix. Reach in there and rotate the auger by hand about 90 degrees to get it aligned with the motor. Also make sure that cooling loop is pushed up flush with the ceiling of the compartment. Don't ask me how I know this, but I've spent way too many service calls on this simple alignment issue. The ice bucket and auger assembly stores and dispenses your ice. When it fails, you'll see cracks in the base or broken fins on that rotary bar. Quick test is to pull it out and inspect with a flashlight for any hairline cracks. Here's a money-saving tip. Most people think they need a new bucket when it's actually just air leaks causing it to freeze shut. Always inspect the door seals and gaskets first. This free check could save you $50 to $100 on unnecessary parts. This is the unit that actually forms and harvests the cubes. When it goes bad, you'll get no ice production or these awful grunting sounds from stripped gears inside. You can test it by pressing that test or reset button, listen for a chime, and watch to see if the tray rotates. Parts run anywhere from about 100 to 270 bucks depending on your model. A lot of people blame this for no ice when really it's just a clogged water filter restricting flow. Always check the filter before you replace the maker. The main control board manages all the cycles and timing. When it fails, the defrost cycle never runs and you get no response to the reset button. You can enter service mode to check for sensor errors. Control boards run anywhere from about $70 to $175. Here's where people waste money though. They replace the whole board when sometimes it's just a blown thermal fuse that costs $2 to fix. The Y-clip kit conducts heat to that cooling loop to prevent frost buildup. When these fail, you'll see excessive frost on the cooling coil and icicles hanging from the sealing loop. This is actually a mandatory upgrade for older models. Samsung realized they needed better heat transfer. Visual inspection is all you need. If you see ice where there shouldn't be any, these clips probably aren't doing their job. They're not expensive to replace and definitely worth upgrading. Now let's talk about what you're looking at cost-wise if you need to replace parts. I always tell people compare the part cost to what you'd pay for a service call because sometimes it makes sense to just fix it yourself, and sometimes you're better off calling someone like me. You can see right there on your screen the most common models that run into these ice bin problems. Take a look. You might even spot your own model up there. What's interesting is there's actually a service bulletin for some of these units, and models built before January 2019 often need what Samsung calls a full service kit to permanently fix the problem. That's how you tackle a stuck Samsung ice maker bin. Try the steamer method for frost buildup, check for cracked trays, and don't forget to inspect those seals and alignment. Most of these fixes you can definitely handle yourself and save a couple $100 on a service call. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this video saved you a service call, smash that like button and tell me in the comments which solution worked for you. Your success story helps other viewers know they can fix this too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.